Hey guys, Ranqeust here, bringing you episode number 2 of Building and Beyond. We last left off surviving day number 1. We were able to find a village, a ravine, some extreme hills, and an abandoned mine shaft right at spawn. We built our hidey hole in the side of the ravine, and we saw a little bit of action with a couple zombies. Our goals for today are to find a source of long-term food, which if you remember from last episode, we found at the village, and to cultivate and make sure that we're good for the long term. Our next goal after that is hopefully we can get a few pieces of iron, which again, there are a couple pieces right down in the bottom. So we're going to have to make our way down to the bottom of the ravine, probably make a little stairway down there. Hopefully we can get there before nighttime, before the baddies come out. And after that, what I want to do is establish our base to make it so that we can stay there for the long haul. Set up some storage and just get things going. Alright, so without further ado, let's head back in. Okay, so while I was off, I did a little bit off camera. Not too much. I just went back and I grabbed a couple more carrots, some potatoes, and some wheat so that we can get something started. As you can see, it's actually still nighttime here. So we will go into a little bit more crafting and some cooking. So we have potatoes. We don't really need 43 of them. Like I said before, potatoes are not really useful unless you're able to cook them. So the way to make a potato is you go into a furnace, put some coal, similar to anything like wood or iron. Now, coal and charcoal, they're able to smelt 8 things. So what I like to do is be as efficient as possible, and I'll throw that in there. Now, a lot of times, too, is I actually like to make multiple furnaces to give me different options during the day. So I am going to make a second furnace and throw that up there. Now, right now, is it useful? Not necessarily, but we're going to do a little bit of digging while we wait for the nighttime to come because we're pretty safe. As long as we keep lighting our way down. Ooh, hey, look at that. What a surprise. We've got iron here. So now you guys can see it up close and personal. It's got this peachish color. And again, you have to use at least a stone pick to mine it. If I try using a wooden pickaxe, it's just going to sit here for a wicked long time. And by the time it does break, you won't actually be able to harvest anything. It'll disappear. So we're going to cook this up. And we're going to actually take this up and smelt our first pieces of iron. Now this is actually going to come in handy when we're looking to set up some food, and the reason being is in order to plant crops and actually do it effectively, you need a source of water. Now, if you remember it back this way, let's sneak out. There is a source of water way over there, but I don't want to have to traverse all the way over there. So, with a few pieces of iron we got, we can make some nice tools to help us fix that situation. Okay, so again, granted it's not a total of 8, but I think we can manage to splurge in the coal. So as that's cooking up, you can see we've got a baked potato here. With baked potatoes, I'm going to wait till my hunger goes down, but this one will actually give us a lot more food for our buck. The only downside is you actually have to use a piece of coal for it. So, now that we have that iron, I'm going to dig out our little hidey hole a little bit, make room for something that we're going to be using a little bit later. And actually, I'm missing a tool. The tool that I'm missing is a shovel. So you use 2 sticks similar to a pickaxe, and you throw one piece of, either it's plank or stone, iron, and that'll give you a shovel. And the shovel again is used to dig quickly through dirt and through gravel. If we make this just a little bit bigger, we can have enough room. Add some of the essentials. Okay, so we've got our iron ready. There's 2 tools that I'm going to use this iron for. There is the first one, which is important for everyday caving and for farming. It's a bucket, and that is a 3 iron ingots in the shape of a V. So you got that. And then the second one, this one's going to be important for our long-term safety and for more decorative purposes, and that's shears. Now, shears are used to pick things like wool and plants and keep them in their natural state. So what I'll do is I'll show it off by here. Now, normally with a piece of grass like this, if I were to take any other item and hit it, I would break it and it would disappear. If I hit it with shears, it actually throws up an item. And I can actually take that grass and use it and plant it either anywhere else or use it for decorative purposes, which is nice. So now the reason why we need shears is we can go up to a sheep and make sure you right click it. You can go up to a sheep, right click, and there you go. You get some wool. This is definitely the more efficient way to do it. When you shear sheep, you don't kill it. The only other way to get wool from a sheep is to kill it, but then again, there goes your source of wool. So we do have 3 pieces of wool. Now, even if this, now granted the wool will not stack, but it doesn't matter what color it is. You can use any color combination with your wool, and it'll still produce items. So let's actually go find some trees because we do need a little bit of wood. Go to the top of the hill here and let's chop this guy down. Now another plant you can actually use shears to hit leaves, and you've got oak leaf plants, which when you shear leaves, the benefit of shearing leaves, especially if you're going to use it for decorative purposes, is if you remove a log from leaves, they disappear, as you see now. But if you were to shear them and place them, they will never disappear regardless of what you put them next to, which is definitely very cool. So you can use them for a lot of cool decorative purposes. People use them for bushes and whatnot, and they definitely give a pretty cool look. Okay, so let's head back. Actually, before we do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly use our bucket and grab some food, or grab some water. That way we can start planting to make some food. So now one thing too, in a lake, these are all source blocks. What we're going to actually do over closer to our base is we're going to make an infinite spring. So we're actually going to have to make the trip twice. But the way you make an infinite spring is that you have 2 source blocks flowing into each other, and that middle one will always turn back into another source block. So the best way to do it, granted there are multiple ways to do it, but the easiest way and the most common way to do it, which I'm going to do that right over here just for now. We can move it later, and let's dig that out, put this right over here, throw that, and then if you go back, get another bucket full, we can make an infinite spring and have water a lot closer. We don't have to make this run every single time. Hi, sheep. So the best way to do this is you have one water source block in the corner. If you go in the opposite source block, if you notice, that will push one source block or water this way and water that way, being that there's 2 source blocks next to this one and this one, they both turn into infinite springs. Now if I take one bucket, put it away, that will now go back to source block. So this is an effective way of getting water to where you need. So especially, some people like to build bases down in the bottom of ravines and whatnot. Generally, it's harder to get water down there, so if you build an infinite spring, you'll have water forever. Okay, so now that we have some logs, we're going to take this, make some more planks, and what we're going to do, this is a very important item, we're going to craft a bed. And what the bed will do is it will set our spawn point to our bed. So right now, if we were to die, we would actually be warped back to that original starting point when we first entered the world. So place that. Now the only downside to a bed is you can only get into it at nighttime. So the bed, when you do get into it at nighttime, especially in a single player world, so you can only sleep at night. When you do, you'll fall asleep and you will actually sleep through the night. So if you don't want to have to worry about any monsters in the middle of the night, then you just go to sleep, come back, and it's daytime again. Another thing that we're going to craft real quick, and that's to block us in from this end, is we're actually going to craft a door. And so the way you do that is you may take your planks and fill in 2 of the columns, and there you go. Wooden door. Now you can place wooden doors differently depending on where you are, and really that comes down to looks. So if I were to place a door here from this angle, it'll place it at the front of the block, which that's not really useful as far as blocking any baddies. But if you go from this way and you do that, then it will go like that. So you can definitely add some cool effects depending on which angle you're at. So if I wanted to come this way, instead of hitting this block, if I move that here, now it's right there, and it's inset all the way into the hill. So now we're actually, for the most part, safe on this side. We do have to be careful. Zombies can go through doors. They can knock them down if you don't go back and stop them. So that's the difficult part about going through, having a village as your starting point, because zombies tend to be attracted to the doors just because they generally have a villager behind it. So when you start off, if you're by a village, it can be some interesting nights. So now that we've got our essentials, we've got an infinite spring outside, which again, let's actually work on that. We need to farm up some of the items that we have. We can plant some potatoes, we can plant some carrots, and we can plant some wheat. Which wheat you don't plant wheat, you plant with seeds. So an essential item to plant is going to be a hoe. Now, as far as a hoe goes, I'd never really waste iron on it. I usually just make cobblestone versions because once you till earth, unless you trample it, you don't really need to use it again. So I usually just use it, throw it in the chest, and then wait till later if I need it again. Now, the reason why you need water by your crops is so that the soil around that your crops are growing in become irrigated. Now what that'll do, and you'll notice it's very easy to spot, your soil gets darker. Oops. Is what that'll do is it'll actually make your crops grow a lot faster. And you can only plant in tilled soil. So if I were to till soil away from the source block, then what would happen is that soil would eventually untill itself, so it'll go back to dirt. So with our hoe in hand, you right click and it turns into this tilled soil. You can see that. Now as far as water goes, irrigation will go 4 blocks away from a source block. So if I were to just leave these tilled, you see that one, it's irrigated, it's got water in it. If I were to go and till this soil, it will stay tilled for now, but eventually it will actually turn back to dirt because there's no water nearby. Yep, and there it goes. So what we're going to do is we're going to till this up. And we're going to just quickly plant 2 rows of carrots. Ooh. That's another thing too, is if you're hungry and you try to plant with carrots or with potatoes, you'll actually try to eat them. So, and this is what better way to test your food than now? So let's eat a potato so we don't have to go through that hassle. All right, now the potatoes, we can throw that here because they're going to be less useful in the long run. And then the wheat, which we need the seeds. And for those OCDers, I'm going to help you out. And I'm going to get that one too. So now that that's blocked, we'll actually make a little bit, this walkway a little bit wider, a little bit safer. And then for what we can do for some added protection is we can actually throw a little guardrail up there. You never know. It's always good practice to do something like this. And then shovel this out. Now another thing that I didn't mention with doors is you can have a single door and you can actually have up to a double door for a two-way. After you go after two doors, and it kind of gets a little bit funky, but a double door actually works very nicely. So the next item that we're going to craft is a chest. Now this will allow us to store items so that we don't have to carry it around, because we do have limited capacity as far as what we can hold on our person. Now I only have enough wood for one, so I'm going to go out and collect some more wood. Let me cut this right here. Okay, on my way back, I did remember one thing. When you're planting crops, they love sunlight. They only actually grow when there is a light level. So the best way to do this, and I actually planted a tree because we are scarce in the area. So what we want to do is anytime you chop down a tree, you want to make sure you get all the saplings. And actually, I think I forgot the saplings over here. And collect those saplings and use them so that you don't have to scavenge for trees. And you can replant. Make you feel all green and eco-friendly. And they must have despawned. So let's go back down. Ouch. So what we do is all you need to do is just throw down a torch, and now this will act as if it's sunlight all day long, or all night long. So it will grow your crops faster, and then the same for these guys. We're going to want to throw up some lights around this, and that'll make the crops go a lot faster. Plus, it'll make us a little bit safer. There'll be less chance of monsters spawning. So, I grabbed some more wood. I grabbed 6 more planks, just chopped down one more tree. I've got 2 more oak saplings, which I'm going to hold on to those for a little bit later. So again, to make a chest, you get 8 planks, put them in a square, similar to a furnace, and then you get a chest. Now, there are different ways you can place chests. One way is you can place them down every other, and that will give you single chests. What you can do from here as well is if you place a chest right next to another one, you'll get a double chest. And that will double your inventory, which is really nice. You can get a larger space in one area. The only thing that happens once you do this is you cannot put a chest in this spot. So a lot of times for larger storage areas, just to give it some cosmetic look, people actually throw down pillars in between their chests, but we don't need to worry about that for now because we only have one. So what we can do too is we can also test out our bed. It is nighttime. Now, all you gotta do, right-click your bed, and you lay down. So now our spawn is set in here. Now, one thing that you need to keep in mind is that there needs to be a clear path to your bed at all times in order for it to be useful. So what that means is a door, even though it blocks out monsters, the game sees it as an open doorway. So if you die, your body tries to find its way back to your bed. If for some reason you were to wall off your bed in an enclosed area, your bed would be blocked and you would go all the way back to your original spawn point. So that can be a pain in the butt. A fun way to prank some friends if you get in a multiplayer server. But, so it's daytime again. What I want to do now is see if we can get down to the bottom of the ravine. And from here, what I want to do is make a little bit of a forward base, because if you remember correctly, we have that... Oh! Oops. That was close. We have this abandoned mine shaft right here, and that has lots of goodies in it. So if I can actually pillar my way back up here, I want to make this a little bit more efficient going down. So, we're actually going to need another pickaxe soon. So what I like to do is I like to hug the natural geography of the ravine, try to disturb it as least as possible. Also, you get some good vantage points. You can see where you are, where you need to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this and then cut out this way. So we've got some railings. We can look out. Love that music. Let's turn this way. And I'm not really doing anything. There's no rhyme or reason to exactly what I'm digging. This is more just getting there done. Okay, so gotta go back, create another pickaxe. Oop. And later I will actually pretty this up. Or we can pretty it up together to go down there a little bit more efficiently. But this way we're just getting down there, and it gives you a little bit more time, especially if you're being chased by monsters or zombies. And let's be a little bit forward thinking. Let's craft 2 pickaxes, and I'm actually going to throw up these random grass parts, seeds, the wheat for now. So we've got baked potatoes, we've got some carrots, and we'll organize this later. And throw that up there. My inventory is slightly a mess. Let's fix that up. Okay. We are ready to go. So one thing I am going to do before we go is go up and grab a bucket of water. Now, it's always a good idea to have a bucket of water with you, just because when you're caving, you don't know exactly, where you're headed, and you could actually find yourself running into some of that stuff, the lava. If you touch lava, it will actually set you on fire, and it hurts. So if you have a bucket of water, what you can do is you can put yourself out. That way you can save yourself from dying a terrible death in a cave on fire. Oop, and we got some more iron. Very cool. That's always useful. So it's always good to have a ton of iron on you. One reason, too, which I haven't gotten into, is you can craft armor. Oop, and I almost fell down again. Let's... So yes, you can craft armor. And the armor will allow you to, just like it sounds, protect yourself against any sort of attacks. You can enchant your armor. You can get things like blast protection and feather falling boots, and those are really fun, because feather falling boots allow you to jump from higher distances and take little to no damage from them. Ooh, some more iron. Wow, this is a big vein. Now, let me know in the comments. If you really want to see me doing this, I will go and do as much for you on camera as you want. If you guys don't really care for this, then let me know. And in later episodes, I can actually cut this out, and that way you can just see some of the action. But I know there are some people that like to watch every step of of the way, just to make sure we're not cheating. Gravel all over the place. This is a bad place. So let's actually make this a little bit quicker. I'm going to and we're going to cut this way, go down, throw one there, and we're here. We're at the bottom of the ravine. So as you can see, that was a roundabout way to get around. Ooh, there's a little mini cave opening. I didn't notice that. Sorry about that. Alright, sorry about that. I got a quick phone call from the missus. But, so we're just heading into this little cave. See some iron, so grab that. Real quick. Now, when we are caving, what I like to do, and this I learned from Paul Soares Jr., if you don't know who he is, take a look at his channel. He's got probably the best tutorial through Minecraft I've ever seen. So the best way to do it is to, when you're going down a cave, similar to in grade school, always put your torches on the right-hand side. That way, when you get into a cave and you want to get your way out, all you have to do is look for all the torches on the left-hand side. And that will lead you, like a breadcrumb trail, out back to where you came. And I just missed that, so throw a torch down here. So, this episode is getting a little bit long. So what we'll do is we'll actually head back up. We've got a little taste of coming into the ravine. We've got 28 pieces of iron ore. We have to be careful. I know there is technically a whole bunch of coal right over there, but we need to keep our supplies in mind when we are smelting things, because we don't want to run out. We're also running low on torches, so I will head back up. If I can remember. Oh yes, it's this way. Duh. Head back up, and we'll actually light back up on our way. We do not want monsters. Oh, I forgot this. We don't want monsters coming up from our home base, so that would be bad. Alright. Nope. This way. Throw here. There. This is a long way up. So, here we are. We're back at the base. Let's actually take a look at our progress, too. On our crops. So as you can see, things are growing very nicely. Our wheat is doing great. You can see some of the potatoes are getting some higher growth, and our tree grew, which is very cool. So, thanks guys. That's going to end it for this episode. I'm going to do it by taking a nap. So yeah, if you guys liked the video, please give me a like, subscribe, favorite, comment, any of that stuff. Also, let me know what you think, what you want me to do, if you want me to traverse the ravine some more, if you want me to go straight into that abandoned mine shaft. When we come back, we're going to smelt up all the iron ore we have. We're going to make some of the essentials, like our first iron pick. We're going to make some armor, and we're actually going to further our tree situation, because right now our wood is very limited and we have to travel pretty far. I may make a little tree farm and show you how to do that. So again, thanks guys for watching. Please stay tuned for the next time. Bye-bye.